Hey gang, Hammersill here. So as you can see, I'm in the Tier 8 Fantasque. We've got CVs in the game, and just a little bit of radar to contend with the Des Moines and Alaska. Enemy destroyers, Shimakaze, Venom, Chungmu, and Kagero. So had a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of detection range in the Fantasque. I mean, it's not horrible at 6'4". I did take Concealment Expert, but you know, that gives me basically it gives me a 1 kilometer disadvantage against the Shima and the Venom. I think the Venom's about the same, maybe just a hair worse than Shima, but either way, both really good. Same with Chungmu. Chungmu's better, not by anywhere near as large a margin, and Kagero is another one that's if spec'd properly, I think it's at 5'4" or 5'5". So I'm looking at that, I'm looking at the radar, I'm looking at the planes, and I'm looking at my spawn location. And I'm thinking, okay, there's no good reason for me to push up here at all. I mean, I'll go this way a little ways. I've got a San Luis here with me, but this would be pretty hazardous for me to just rush right down there, because I don't have that much in terms of the detection. Pretty much any of the enemy DDs are going to outspot me by a really wide margin. And once I get detected, it's a pretty sure bet that those red airplanes are going to make a beeline for me. I think, as a general rule, I think that being the first destroyer spotted in a CV game, never a good idea. So if you're able to get yourself positioned such that someone else playing a destroyer on your team gets spotted before you do, it's probably a really good thing for you. Because the CV will often, not always, often harass that DD, which can give you time to make something happen. Not always, but sometimes. Anyway, why am I showing you this replay? Well, and as you can see here, these are just preemptive. I'm just, you can see on the mini-map there, you can see my torpedo range had just reached the point where maybe I could catch somebody going through that gap, so I thought, what the heck, I'll try. The torpedoes are fairly speedy. There is some chance Takao might eat a torpedo, so that's why I threw him out there. But now I'm detected. So what does that tell you? It tells you there's a destroyer out here. It tells you that the Takao is probably going to be aware of the torpedoes and trying to avoid them. And our Harugumo and Kitakaze that came over to this side, well, they have the option of smoke, so of course they took advantage of that. Which leaves me with my butt hanging out here, taking fire from a smoked up destroyer and a Takao. And now there's 4, and I've got to go dark. Okay. Well, I took about 5,500 damage, more or less. But maybe I provided an opportunity for some others on our team to do some damage. At least that's how I'm going to look at it. And you can see that while I've only done 5,590 points of damage to the enemy, I was responsible for 150,000 in spotting damage for the team. So I'm going to count that as a good thing. Now, having said all of that, why am I showing you this game? Well, this was a decent game for me, overall, as you'll see. I didn't light the world on fire here or anything, but someone else on my team had a really great game, and I think this game, shows a couple things that I think are kind of important for anybody. One, I think it shows that staying alive as long as possible, in the hope that you'll get an opportunity to make a difference at some point, can really be the smart way to play. I mean, you don't want to just hide behind an island and sit there and say, well, after 10 minutes goes by, I'll join the game. But being careful about your positioning and, you know, not pushing up so far that you don't have any way to fall back if you get outgunned by, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 ships. Those things are important considerations. So I'm looking at the minimap right now and I'm saying, okay, we've got a 2-ship lead at this point. Kitakaze and Harugumo are both of this side. There's really no reason for me to stick around, and I have the speed to transit to the center. You know, I saw the Benham pop up there on the mini-map in the center of the map, and I want to make sure that the Benham doesn't get an opportunity to race up there and steal the only cap that we still have. Now I'm detected, I'm pretty sure it's the Benham, I'm pretty sure he's headed this way, and I'm pretty sure if I just keep heading this direction, I'm going to light him up. And there he is. Now he's going to smoke. I'm going to throw out a batch of torpedoes and just hope for the best. Now he has better torpedoes than me by quite a margin, and better detection, and he has smoke. I mean, he's got pretty much every advantage. The only advantage that I have really is speed, and I can't really make use of that with that. So what is it? Sovietsky Soyuz sitting right there, because, well, I know that thing, especially at like range 10 to 12. It is so accurate, even against DDs. It can just be devastating. So I'm deciding, do I go ahead and push in here? Do I try to finish off the Benham? You know, he had his nose kind of pointed more south than north. Is he just going to run? Risk assessment time. Here it is. 6 minutes and 20 seconds in, I've only done 6,250 damage. And I can see that the Benham is running. And I go ahead and say, well, I got to get some shots on him. That was a really bad shot, but it was a shot on him. There's another really bad shot. Those of you with a lot of ships in your port probably suffer the same thing occasionally. You play one ship for a little while, and then you switch ships, and suddenly the guns aren't quite what you're accustomed to, and it takes a little getting used to. And in a real short span of time, we lose 2 more ships, and now we have the same number of caps, but we're down a ship, and because they've had a cap advantage for so long, they have basically a 175 point lead. Now I know that battleship's coming up this way, so I opted to turn around and try to put some pain on that guy. And you can see our friendly Kitakaze on the other side with similar ideas. And Alaska goes down, thank goodness. And here's where I can really make use of the speed. I'm going to jump out here, throw some torps. And it would just be hard for this, or really anybody, to hit this ship. Almost 50 knots even when turning. There's a fire, and by getting out here and making myself a target, even in the short term, I was hoping that he might turn to try to get more guns this way, and he did, and he's going to pay for that. Now we've got our CV here. I see the Takao pushing in, and I wanted to be able to defend the Shikaku. Kitakaze only 5,300 hit points. Takao can take him out in one volley. Now they know I'm here. I wish I had smoke for our CV, but I don't. So the best I can do is try and distract the Takao. And I simultaneously spot that the Shimikaze's out there, which means there are probably torpedoes coming this way. So I want to angle up and put some distance between me and the likely torpedo strike. Yeah, Bismarck took care of our Shikaku. And I lose sight of the enemy DD. Now, meanwhile, you'll see that our Smolensk, he's 4th from the top there, well, 3rd from the top now. He's managed to get 3 kills, and he hasn't taken much damage. And I think, you know, what I was saying earlier about just looking for opportunities, trying to stay in a good spot, make your position is smart. He's really exemplifying that. Now you can see that, you know, they've got a couple ships with some damage, but they're looking pretty good, really, still. Now, I was trying to move up here to get torps on the Bismarck, but I'm looking at, and it's not showing up here for you, but I'm looking at the indicator in game and thinking I might be able to get the Shima. He didn't spot me. He was detected just long enough for me to get the torps off. Now if I do open up on Bismarck, will the Shima anticipate that I've already thrown torps or not? I'm really hoping not. You can see I'm just checking there. And Shima shows up. Since I didn't see torps a minute ago, I expect they're probably going to see some here any second. So I'm going to get the heck out of Dodge and make sure that I don't use much torpedoes here because, you know, he's down to 7,100 hit points. I've only got 7,800. Now I outgunned this Shimakaze, of course, but the ship doesn't handle all that well. I mean, it's not awful, but I got to make sure I don't get caught in a turn. Now you can see that our Smolensk there, he's trying to position to be able to cover the center. Yes, he has smoke, but I'm really hoping that he'll get some cover because he's gonna need cover against the Henri, who's, yeah, they nerfed the acceleration, but still fantastic guns. And he's got a Benham behind him. He's got the Benham actually in the Delta Cap, and we are still down roughly 150 points. And this is still an uphill climb. So we're 12 minutes in, more or less. And I'm having to anticipate where I think the Shima might go. Trying to make use of my speed. I don't have any way to know that he's going to be here. But I'm hoping that he's either here or on his way out there to try to get ahead of our Alsons. And he was. Can I finish him? No, but our Smolensk did. So look at that. Now our Smolensk has a kill count of 4. And really this is just kind of where he's getting started. We are still down. At this point we're down almost 200 points. The enemy has 3 caps, our 1 cap. And the CV is about to spot me and make my life a little more challenging. Get my sector reinforcement. And because I'm spotted, and we've got a Des Moines and an Henri, and they're, you know, of course, probably very interested in seeing my ship get sunk. I can't do anything about having been plane spotted, and I've already fired, so I'm going to stay spotted for at least 20 seconds. And that Henri, he's pretty close to being sunk, so I want to do everything I can to finish him off. Just making sure I wasn't going to use a torp there. See if I can get one more volley off here. No, he's out of my range. But you know who has the range to be able to hit that guy? Yep. Smolensk. That's his Kraken. Good positioning from Smolensk. He's making use of his range. His positioning was such that the Des Moines couldn't hit him. Just really great game so far out of our Smolensk. And he's keeping us in this thing. We're still down almost 200 points. I'm guessing Benham is probably this way, but if he's not, I'm going to try and get behind Des Moines. Maybe I can torp Des Moines. Maybe. He's obviously somebody who is familiar with how to use the rocks for cover, so yeah, maybe I don't catch him with torps, but maybe I'm able to back him into a corner or get him to nose into an island, or you just never know. And you'll see I'm keeping some eye on my detection range. I don't want to get spotted. And I'm wondering if I can get between these islands here in the cap and hide behind this rock, because it's almost certain that he's going to... Yep, and there it is. There's the radar. these torpedoes off. I'm just trying to get through that little gap with a torpedo in case I could catch him there. He's trying to get the guns around. And now I can just sit here behind this rock. And I don't think he can shoot me. So really the only thing I have to worry about now is planes and the Benham. I'm only targeted by one. I was only targeted by one, and I'm looking now to see if any of my torps actually got through that little gap there. If nothing else, I just held them in place, and that's got value too. You can see our Smolensk is repositioned, our Georgia center, and between the two of them, their AA is pretty formidable. In fact, the highest aircraft count kills that I've ever had in any game, I was playing my Georgia, and it was 80 aircraft. So the two of those ships together, they can eat a lot of planes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a run for it here, assuming Des Moines got his guns pointed in a different direction now, and he did. I'm just trying to get close enough to flush him out. Let's see, I've got torpedoes available on the other side. I've got Georgia pushing on this side. I've got Smolensk on the other. Now I'm in the range of the hydro. Now he knows that if I get a little bit closer, I'm going to be able to get torpedoes on him, even if he just stays right there. So my hope is, while I'm pushing in like this, is that he's going to say, oh boy, I'm going to have to run for it. And when he does, if he does, I can throw fish out there and kind of control where he can go. At least that's what I'm thinking. So by doing that, even if I don't kill him with guns, or nobody does, I just limited his choices. Now I managed to survive, thank goodness. But you know who got another kill? Smolensk. 7 kills for our Smolensk. Really, really great game out of that fella. Okay, so we're still down almost, well, we're down 90 points right now. We've got 2 caps, they've got 2 caps. Well, we're not going to get more points if we don't get more caps. So you'll see that we quickly decide we need to secure more caps. Now Georgia's very fast, and if he still has one of the speed boosts available, he can run that way pretty quickly. Now I'm detected. Is he going to come for me? Now you can see I've got 961 hit points. And Georgia doesn't have much more than that. The ship with the most hit points on our team is Smolensk. And he is running for the Alpha Cap while I run for the Charlie Cap. The CV captain, he knows I'm down this way. So I'm feeling at this point in the game that he's probably coming for me, but nope. I think if he had, and I think if he had finished me off, it wouldn't have taken much. Just throw a beer can out ahead of this ship and it probably would have gone down. He's given us a chance here. And he's flying over the Smolensk. It couldn't have got any better for us. Instead of trying to kill me or finish off the Georgia, he went for the ship with the most hit points. And now I've managed to get him spotted. And our Georgia will be able to get guns on him. Now, I'm not sure whether Smolensk has the range or the ability to get over those islands, but I'm pretty sure, looking at the mini-map, that the Georgia is going to be able to get shells on him. And yeah, you can see some Smolensk shells there. And we are gaining. We're almost caught up on points. Now we're only down less than 50. We've secured this cap. Only 42 seconds remaining. This is going to come down to the wire. But we're feeling pretty good right now, unless one of us gets sunk. This was a really fun game. It had a very exciting finish. My hat is off to our Smolensk captain. He had a fantastic game. Our Georgia captain as well. He was in it and kept people busy for a lot of the game, despite not getting a big kill count. Great team effort, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you the next time.